Hello there, this is Elena in my channel Enough. Today we're gonna talk about one of the most significant events in the last 35 years, which happened yesterday and today. It's about airstrikes on Russian territory on the air bases inside Russia. The one you seeing on the screen just now, it was blow up in Kursk, in city of Kursk, which is not too far from Ukrainian border. We will see it in a minute. And this is a oil storage, fuel storage and stuff like that. And but most significant even some other strikes, which is this is from BBC, Russian part of BBC. It was about two airstrikes at the strategic airfields near Ryazan city in Russia and Engels, which is basically satellite city of Saratov. And the article says that Russia confirmed the death of military personnel and blaming Ukraine. But what is significant about it? Why it is important? This is one of the planes damaged. About airbase in Engels, which is a Russian city named after German philosopher and friend of Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels. This is Engels, Saratov region of December 5th. This is what happened, how that attack happened. According to Russian sources, 3 military personnel died and 4 was wounded, and 2 planes are damaged, but I wouldn't trust them on word too much, since they lie all the time. It could be more, it could be less. This is information from BBC, and so this is one of the pieces of the footage of what happened. This strike destroyed some of strategic military planes. And on this airbase, basically, there are heavy bombers, 2 160M and 2 95MS MC, which capable of carry on nuclear weapons. And the planes from this airbase regularly bombing Ukrainians and with the missiles and stuff like that. Mostly, they committing war crimes because they bombing energy infrastructure of Ukraine, and that is why my friends in Ukraine now often sitting without electricity, heat, water, and if you want to relate to them, turn off all of this for an hour in your house, and you will feel a little bit how Ukrainians feel, how they sitting sometimes in total darkness, but Ukrainian government doing a lot to restore the power in Ukraine and so on. So about this picture we will talk about a little later. For now I just want to show you. So this is Ryazan. This is city of Ryazan in Russia. This is Ukraine. This is Ryazan. And this is Moscow. Different people say different numbers. I measured it myself. Depends from where you measure. It could be. This is the first airfield which get strike. You can see it over here on the map as well. We'll look at the map first. So this is Moscow. This is Ryazan. Saratov is on the Volga River. It's Povolzhia region. I am from Volga River myself, and Saratov is not far. So Engels, this is the city of Engels, which has that airfield get another strike. This city, basically across the river Volga from Saratov. And Kursk is much closer to the border of Ukraine, which is right here. So Kursk, Ryazan, and Saratov. Probably on the Google Earth would be visible better some airfields. In Ryazan, for instance, like that one. The significant event happened because Ryazan and especially Engels are very far away from the borders of Ukraine, up to like 700 kilometers. Depends from where you measure, in 600, 700. And actually closer when you look at the Engels, basically if the strike could be done on that city Engels, it mean, which is right here, and that is at the air base, it mean that the hit can be done on Moscow or St. Petersburg. It mean that Russia cannot defend its country. Russian anti-air missiles, anti-air forces who supposed to protect Russian borders and protect strategical objects like a airport with strategical planes which can hold nuclear weapons, which attacking Ukraine, they are unprotected. And Ukraine, if it was done by Ukraine because Ukraine didn't take responsibility for that, it was just proven that another lie about Russian army and about Russia. The significance of it, that 35 years ago, 28th of May 1987, this plane, Cessna, with Ross, landed in Moscow on the Red Square. From Finland border, young pilot flew to Moscow and flew over the Red Square and landed on a bridge near Red Square. And this was the end of USSR, the time when the USSR started to collapse. This proved that Russian and Soviet at the time air defense couldn't do anything against the little plane. It proved in what poor state was Soviet army, and it was huge embarrassment for USSR, as now the attack of those bases a huge embarrassment for Russia. This is Kursk. This happened today. Attacks on Engels and Ryazan happened yesterday. It means Russian army learned nothing. And the chief of all of this, believe it or not, Russian General Armageddon, Surovikin. He is a general, basically of infantry, who is also in charge of air and space defense. And he failed. He failed to defend Russian territory. As in USSR, they failed, and a little plane which flew from Finland landed in the heart of Moscow. The attacks on Ryazan and on Engels, proving that nowhere in Russia is safe, that tomorrow could be strikes on Moscow, and that Russians learned nothing, because today they couldn't protect Kursk, which Kursk region and Belgorod region was already was under attack for a while. And what Russians doing? In Belgorod, the city near Ukrainian border, people can't find the bomb shelters because apparently it's strategic information and people shouldn't know about it. And guess what? When they do find it, they locked and they don't have a key to hide in the bomb shelters. Why do you need bomb shelter if you can't use it in case of necessity? Which it wouldn't be necessity if Putin wouldn't start the aggressive war in Ukraine in 2014, which I proven on my channel beyond any doubt with the facts video evidence, and any other proofs from my personal connections with Ukrainians. Now in the last 3 years I have a lot of friends, writers in Ukraine. While living in Canada I travel and write mysteries, but I'm an economist in the past, and I was teaching in several Russian universities. But now I'm writing, and my friends now living all over Ukraine, around 10 cities minimum. I know people from different parts of Ukraine, and they confirming all of it. Besides, I was spending 9 years to investigate the war, the Maidan and the war in Ukraine from 2014. And I providing proofs on my channel about that as well. So, yesterday and today, the significant facts are that Russia cannot defend itself. Putin destroyed Russia and Russian army that bad that they can't protect nothing in Russia. Even strategic places where there are strategic bombers standing. There is no mighty Russian army. Putin just proved it again and again. Everything Putin says is a lie. Everything Lavrov says is a lie. I disproved their lies many times on my channel with facts and proofs. So don't believe anything Putin says. Don't believe in anything about Russian economy or Russian army. We know how Russian army look like right now. And we believed, or some of us believed, I didn't, that it's the second army in the world. Well, I did believe it for a while, too. So basically it's all a lie. And we need to support Ukraine. We need to give them more weapons. We need to let Ukraine fight with both hands, not one hand tied behind their back. So far, Ukraine proved that they don't bomb in civilians, not on purpose anyways, like Russia does in Ukraine, and Putin confirmed that. He admitted to the war crimes of bombing electric stations in Ukraine, and that's their aim. Even if it will be proven that Ukraine did it, whatever we've seen right now, those attacks, they bombing military objects. They defending their country. There is no question about it. And I'm tired of hypocrisy saying Ukraine should do this, Ukraine shouldn't do that. Ukraine is defending itself. Ukrainian people are the ones who are dying right now on the battlefield for our freedom as well. Because Putin wouldn't stop on Ukraine. He said so himself. There are many other people in Russia, including ex-President Medvedev and a whole bunch of other officials, dreaming about going into other countries. Putin is a new Hitler. Is not as good as Hitler because, well, Hitler wasn't good, but at least he was popular, genuinely popular in his country. Putin is not. Putin doesn't have a Hitler's army, and thank God for that, because, or thanks their corruption for that, because otherwise they would be now further than Ukraine. And if there are people in Europe who still don't understand how significant that is, and how dangerous Putin is for their countries, they should watch my channel and find out. Because Ukraine right now is the only thing which standing between you, the rest of the Europe, and Russian butcher, responsible for murders and killing civilians all over Ukraine, torture, and war crimes. Please help Ukraine. I'm Russian Canadian and I'm standing with Ukraine. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.